destiny had one final ultimate test waiting for Subedar Joginder Singh and his Sikh platoon. October 23rd, 1962, at 5:30 hours, the chilling winds of the Himalayas carried the whispers of war. At the break of dawn, the mountains roared, not with thunder, but with the boots of hundreds of Chinese soldiers advancing towards the 20 brave-heart Indian army men. The Chinese opened a very heavy attack on the Bamla axis with the intention of breaking through to Tawang. The leading battalion of the Chinese attacked the ridge in 3 waves. Each wave was about 200 men. That makes it overwhelming strength of 600 Chinese soldiers in total that were supported by mortar and anti-tank rockets against only 20 Sikh Indian Army soldiers with obsolete weapons and limited ammunitions. The fierce resistance of the Sikh platoon, however, compelled the Chinese to fall back with heavy losses on the first wave, but they regrouped quickly and launched a second wave of fresh attack under the cover of an artillery barrage. Subedar Joginder Singh and his platoon stood like a wall against the second Chinese assault. Even after losing half their men and despite a wound to his thigh, Joginder Singh refused to leave the battlefield. His men fought on with him, pushing back the enemy once again and forcing the Chinese to retreat with heavy losses. Bullets ran dry, blood was spilled, wounds tore through bodies. The condition of the Indian soldiers were absolutely tarnished, but the will to fight and the valor existed, yet they held the line. The last wave of the Chinese attack, which was more determined and more forceful, followed next. Now the Indian Army platoon had very few men left to fight. Subedar Joginder Singh therefore manned a light machine gun and killed a large number of enemies, about 52 men. When the Indian Army's ammunition finally ran out, Subedar Joginder Singh, wounded but unshaken, gave a fearless command. He told his men that the headquarters had ordered them to retreat, to abandon the post because they were hopelessly outnumbered. But Joginder Singh made it very clear he would not leave. He would stand and fight. He asked his men for their decision, and without any hesitation, they chose to stay and fight by his side and the country. Subedar Joginder Singh and his men emerged from their bunkers with bayonets fixed on their guns. A bayonet is a sharp knife attached to a rifle. Shouting the Sikh battle cry, "Bolai Sonehal, Sat Shri Akal," they fell upon the advancing Chinese and bayoneted many to death. After 4 hours of fierce fighting, a mortally wounded Joginder was taken as a prisoner of war. He later died in Chinese captivity. Throughout the action, Subedar Joginder Singh displayed devotion to duty, inspiring leadership, and bravery of the highest order. On learning that Joginder had been awarded the Param Vir Chakra, the Chinese army, in a rare mark of respect, recognized his valor in the battle by repatriating his ashes with full military honors to the regiment on May 17, 1963. Later, in a ceremony at the Sikh Regimental Center at Meerut, India, his ashes were handed over to his widow, Gurdial Kaur, and young children. Subedar Joginder Singh has been immortalized in the nation's history for his outstanding act of valor and will remain one of the greatest soldiers the Indian Army has ever seen. Remembering Subedar Joginder Singh and his extraordinary bravery, he was posthumously awarded India's highest military award, the Param Vir Chakra. India has won many wars due to the valor, determination, and persistence of its soldiers. Yet, the 1-month-long Sino-Indian War of 1962 is often remembered for its bitter defeat. But buried beneath the scars of that battle are stories of extraordinary valor. Stories that blazed so brightly they outshone the darkness of loss. Among these legends stands a name etched in gold: Subedar Joginder Singh, who alongside his gallant platoon of the Sikh regiment carved a timeless tale of courage on the frozen heights of the Himalayas. Subedar Joginder Singh and his fearless platoon of the legendary Sikh regiment etched their names in history with blood, grit, and honor. While the world remembers 1962 for defeat, India remembers Subedar Joginder Singh for his unyielding spirit, a spirit that refused to bow even when the odds were 10-1. Born on 26 September 1921 in the humble village of Mahalla Kala, Moga, Faridkot, Punjab, India, Joginder Singh grew up amidst the golden fields of freedom and hard work, son of Shri Sher Singh Sani and Bibi Krishan Kaur. Subedar Joginder Singh did his primary education in his village. After clearing his 10th grade, he could not continue his studies further as his parents could not afford it. He joined the British Indian Army on 28 September 1936 and was recruited into the 1 Sikh regiment known for its courageous soldiers and numerous battle honors. Duty, discipline, and devotion were not just words for him. They were the essence of his life. As a young soldier, he answered the call of duty, fighting bravely in the grueling Burma campaign during the World War II. Later, he stood tall once again in the First Indo-Pakistani War of 1947-48. Later, he married Bibi Gurdial Kaur Banga. The couple had a son and 2 daughters. He was a hard-working soldier and fulfilled his desire for education by passing his professional examinations and becoming a unit instructor. He commanded respect from the troops for being a strict disciplinarian and a dedicated soldier. Let's dive down into the reasons behind the defeat and why, even in loss, this battle became a victory of spirit. So, the defeat of India in the 1962 Sino-Indian can be attributed to several interrelated reasons. Like, back at that time, Indian troops were ill-equipped for high-altitude mountain warfare, lacking adequate supplies, winter clothing, food ration, and modern weapons compared to the Chinese People's Liberation Army, which was carrying better weapons and adequate ammunitions. Another reason could be India had insufficient intelligence on Chinese troop movements and intentions, which led to being caught off guard by the sudden and coordinated Chinese attacks on both eastern and western fronts. Also, the Indian political leadership, including the Prime Minister at that time, Nehru, underestimated the Chinese threat and overestimated India's military capabilities. There was inadequate coordination between political and military leadership, and diplomatic efforts to resolve border disputes had failed terribly by the time the war broke out. So, all in all, India's defeat was due to a combination of strategic miscalculations, such as the forward policy, tactical errors, intelligence failures, and political leadership during that time.